Welcome into the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Nick Roloff, as we have a Kevin Durant trade update, as we always do on today's show, because late Friday night there were some updates from Marc Stein and others about what the Heat are willing to offer for Kevin Durant, as well as another player Miami may want in return alongside KD from the Phoenix Suns. But this is why you subscribe, because I'm off today, still bringing you updates on the Miami Heat on the daily, so make sure you're subbed and make sure you have your notifications turned on, so when a KD trade hopefully happens to Miami, you won't miss when we go live to break it all down. All right, we're going to start with the Kel'el Ware part of the show, because it's been an ongoing debate in my comments on Twitter if Miami should be or would be willing to offer the center who just came off a season where he was second team all-rookie, 7 feet tall, 7'4" wingspan, showed a lot of ability to play alongside Bam Adebayo and be the center of the future in Miami. I have been very open. I am okay trading Kel'el Ware for KD as long as you are not giving up any draft capital alongside Ware. I think a Ware, Wiggins, Duncan Robinson package is very fair for KD, and I know some people might say it's crazy that there's no draft capital, but they're getting a shooting sniper off the bench in Duncan. If they keep him, if they want to waive him and get underneath the luxury tax, they can do that due to his ETO in his contract. You get a young building block center in Ware to pair up with Devin Booker, and a 3-and-D wing in Andrew Wiggins. I think that's a fair offer. I'm not giving up any draft capital alongside it, but I think it's fair. I understand why Heat fans want to keep him. Me personally, I am willing to trade him if I get to keep Jovic in all my draft capital for flexibility in the future. Well, the Heat seem to be on the line of thinking that they are not giving up Kel'el Ware regardless. Marc Stein reported that Miami is said to be firmly against including standout rookie center Kel'el Ware in their offers for Durant. Without Ware in a theoretical trade, Phoenix is presumed to be seeking future first-round draft capital from Miami to help deliver Durant to South Beach at long last. And this sparked a lot of debate here in terms of, well, if they want multiple first-round picks, should the Heat be willing to do that? And there's a trade package that actually intrigues me in terms of where I would be willing to offer multiple firsts, because at first, I would not trade anything other than the 20th pick because I don't want to ruin my flexibility for the future. But as a response to that trade package and the report that they would want multiple first-round picks if they don't get Kel'el Ware, well, how about this package for KD that I saw on Twitter? And credit to Heat Culture, Wade Times Flash on Twitter. That's the one I saw. I don't know if other people had it, but he had Andrew Wiggins, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, who is someone that could interest Phoenix. Remember, the Suns actually signed him to a contract a couple of years ago before he ended up joining Miami, and then the 20th pick this year and a 2030 first-round pick. So quick recap: Andrew Wiggins, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, 2 firsts, number 20 this year, and then the 2030 pick as well. Before I give you my thoughts, let me know, would you do that trade for Kevin Durant? Y for yes or N for no. The reason why I'm intrigued with that trade is, yeah, you're giving up the 20th pick. You're giving up a future first-round pick in 2030, which ultimately could be valuable if KD doesn't work out in Miami and you have to blow up the ship. Well, you would get to keep both Kel'el Ware and Nikola Jovic in that deal. So then you would have a starting lineup that probably looks like Tyler Hero, fill in your backcourt partner, KD, Bam, Ware, with Nikola Jovic headlining that bench unit. You would still have other first-round picks to use in trades. You'd keep your 2026 first-round pick in case things do go awry next season, and you would also have Nikola Jovic. Like, that to me is very much a good building block, and it keeps flexibility for the future despite you sending out a future first-round pick. You would still have 2032 to trade, as well as some other pick swaps to make other deals to help complement this roster. And that's intriguing to me. And I know a lot of people have talked about KD can't play the 3. He can't play in the starting lineup next to Bam and Ware. Well, I think people are trying to look at this in a wrong way. KD is not a 3 at this point in his career. No, he's a 4. But when you have the versatility on the defensive end of the floor with Bam Adebayo, that changes everything. Because KD can absolutely still play the 3 in any offense. He can play alongside 2 bigs offensively. He shot 43% from beyond the arc last season and 50% from the field while scoring 26 a night. He can do that on the offensive end. He just can't guard on the perimeter and guard these flashy wings at this stage in his career as he's turning 37 in September. Well, that's where the Adebayo versatility comes into effect because Bam can legitimately guard 1 through 5. So then in this defense, Ware would guard the center, KD would guard the 4, and Bam can switch on the perimeter, guarding wings, guarding bigs, guarding guards, and his chess piece type of mindset defensively where he can just be played in so many different ways. He's a queen. He is. He can move sideways. He can move forward. He can move diagonal to go to the chessboard. That is how good defensively he is, and that's why it would work. And then you would have Nikola Jovic coming off the bench where he thrived last season, averaging double-digit points a night when being a reserve. He looked more comfortable in that role, being a change-of-pace ball handler and floor spacer off the bench. Well, he could still do that, or the Heat can use him to package more assets, whether it is a Terry Rozier, to acquire a real backcourt partner like Colin Sexton, to pair up with the backcourt of Tyler Hero. So that really intrigues me. We'll see if that ultimately comes to fruition, but it is clear at this point that the Heat have no intention of trading Kel'el Ware for Kevin Durant. So people in the comments that get mad at me for being okay trading Ware, I think you guys can honestly breathe a sigh of relief. Kel'el Ware will likely be on the Miami Heat's roster in 2026. Let's get over to the second part that was reported from Marc Stein. This one's very interesting. League sources say several teams have registered interest in the Suns' Cody Martin. The veteran swingman could very well factor into any direct or multi-team deal that Phoenix inevitably puts together to ship out the Kevin Durant. Miami, to name one example, is known to hold an affinity for Martin. The Heat certainly developed a familiarity for Martin, while Miami rostered his twin brother, Caleb. And this one's very interesting. It'd be fascinating to see another Martin in Miami. He has a solid contract, which is why I would be okay taking Cody back. $8.6 million, it's also an expiring deal. So it's not like you're married to him. You can take back that 8.6 and have it come off the books if you don't like the way he fits. He's 30 years old this upcoming year. He career averages about 6.2 points per game, 3.7 rebounds. Now, he isn't that good of a shooter. Career 30.8% from beyond the arc, 43.6% from the field. He's a solid defender, but nothing crazy. Caleb is certainly the better Martin. There's no debating that. It's why he got a massive contract by Philly. We know that didn't work out, and then he was traded for Quentin Grimes, which at this point looks like a disaster for the Dallas Mavericks once again. Either way, he is not as good as his brother Caleb, but he does play a similar style where he's that energizing wing off the bench that defends, can make some hustle plays on the glass, and then maybe occasionally get hot from beyond the arc and really just put a dent into that opposing defense like we saw Caleb do so often. When you look at Miami, they also have one of the best, if not the best, developmental staffs in all of basketball. You see what they've been able to do with UDFAs like Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, and then obviously their own drafted players that have developed into really solid rotational pieces. So I'm okay taking a swing on a player like Cody Martin if that is needed to make salary work. In that hypothetical deal, we know Phoenix covets Haywood Highsmith. If they really want Haywood, to me, with him having 1 year, $5 million left on his deal, he is not stopping a KD trade by any stretch of the imagination. So if we throw in Haywood as a sweetener and get Cody back, and Cody just plays Haywood's role off the bench, I would not be that upset at that, considering he does have a good contract for the following offseason. Don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but it's certainly something I would be interested in and would not be complaining about if that was necessary to get a Kevin Durant trade finalized. Let me know, would you be okay taking back Cody Martin in return for Kevin Durant? Let me know your thoughts. Type T if you were fine and you would make that trade. Type P if you're passing and that is a holdup. I think it would be crazy for that to be a holdup, but you guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We'll round out today's show with a little bit of a timeline / rant. I'll say this. I think nobody has a single clue on what is happening in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. I really don't. I see new reports, it feels like by the hour, by different reporters, whether it's local, beats, national. Like Brian Windhorst has been speculating for the past week that, hey, if Phoenix doesn't get any upped offers here before the draft, maybe they just hold on to him and roll the dice for one more season. They are not going to do that. I don't know more than Windhorst, so maybe he has heard from the Suns organization that they would be willing to do that. To me, that feels like smoke to try to up offers from teams negotiating with the Suns right now for KD. That relationship is just so far fractured. There's just no way they bring him back this season. Maybe they roll the dice. I doubt it. But you see like other guys. I thought John Gambadero, who was the lead Suns insider, he's the Barry Jackson, if you will, of the Suns organization, he usually has sources. He said last week that the Heat's offer was bad and not good enough to get it done. And then late Thursday and Friday this week, he admitted he didn't know the full offer on his show. Like, how are you going out and saying that the Heat's offer is bad and not good enough, yet you don't know what it is in entirety? Like, there is just too many people on Twitter, on social media, that is trying to report information when it comes to Kevin Durant. They do not have a clue. And it's just kind of frustrating. I don't claim to know anything in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. I am just reacting to the reports from who I think are maybe more reliable sources. Like, to me, I'm stopping getting my hopes up. And until Shams says something like the Heat are out of it or the Heat are in the final stages of a trade, it's kind of just hearsay if we're going to be completely honest. It just is frustrating because it feels like this is getting dragged out way longer than anticipated. Thought it would be done by now. I'm shocked Phoenix is taking it this close to the NBA draft. I mean, we're 4 days away. It's the 21st. This upcoming Wednesday is the draft. They want a pick. They don't even have a pick yet, and that's not their own at 29 that they got in a separate trade from Cleveland. It's like, are they going to get a draft pick? Do they want to finalize one soon so they can kind of know where they're picking and start to finalize and hone in on their draft board? Like, this is all getting a little odd if you're asking me. But, hey, we'll see if a conclusion is soon. I hope it is. But make sure you are subscribed. And follow me on Twitter, by the way, as well, at Nick_Roloff, because when the trade breaks, I'll have the news over there first before we come over and provide more context and analyzation here on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you follow me over on Twitter.